You want to hear a joke? EA and Activision walk into a bar. The bartender looks at them and says, "Microtransactions, the future best friend of our country's health system." One group that aren't friends of the microtransactions is gamers. To be frank, we hate these things. Microtransactions can basically be defined as a purchase made within a game. If you just search up the definition on Google, it defines it as a very small financial transaction conducted online. But that could be fucking anything. By this definition, I can call myself buying a brick from the Lowe's website a microtransaction. Like, they're not wrong, but this word is almost exclusively used within gaming. For example, the real most prominent use of microtransactions is mobile games. Anybody got $1 to spare? How it goes is that you'd spend $1 or $2 to get skins, currency, or just removing ads in a game on your phone. I've done this before. If you want to shoot me, just fucking do it. However, phones were not the first ones to do it. The first game to introduce microtransactions was Double Dragon 3, the Rosetta Stone in 1990. The arcade version. I don't think there was a way to make payments through the NES, no matter how many pennies you put in it. No, the arcade version had items, special moves, and health that were purchasable by putting more quarters in the machine. However, the microtransaction model really gained steam in the early 2000s in South Korea. Games like Quiz and MapleStory by the company Nexon were free to play, but you could buy stuff within the game. For a while, the only games that had microtransactions were free-to-play PC games, as consoles weren't quite able to do things like that, especially in the early to mid-2000s. In 2005, though, the Xbox 360 came out and had a little something unique to it. There was a marketplace on the console that let you buy games from the Xbox Live Arcade, which that is a whole other can of worms, but you could especially buy DLC for games. But the game industry was really fucking weird back then, so for a while, Microsoft had Microsoft points instead of actual money. 400 points cost you $5, 800 points cost $10, and 1600 points cost you $20. I love not making any sense either, Microsoft. The virtual currency approach to games is nothing new. Games like Habbo Hotel and Second Life had virtual currency systems years before the 360 came out. As stated a bit ago, the marketplace allowed for the purchase of DLC, and one of the first major games to do this was actually The Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which Bethesda released a piece of horse armor in April of 2006 for $2.50. What was that? Yeah, gamers back in the day weren't so happy that you had to pay $2.50 for a simple piece of horse armor, but a lot of items nowadays cost more than that. So is Bethesda a prophet, or are they the spawn of evil? Live service games, free-to-play games with ever-changing content, use microtransactions a lot. The genre to use them the most is Battle Royale games. Really getting their start with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds in 2017, you got a ton of people being dropped into a map at the same time with one goal: be the last person or group standing. PUBG only went free in 2022 though. If you were too poor to play PUBG for those 5 years, then Fortnite Battle Royale was free, which probably worked in its favor. Now, stand back, I could probably get castrated, crucified, or even lectured in a Reddit comment section for this one, but I kinda like Fortnite. I can see I've just simultaneously pissed off and pleased every 12-year-old out there. I have had fun with the game. I think if you play it with friends or random 5-year-olds, it could be a hell of a time. I have also spent money on it. I did buy the Battle Pass for Chapter 4 Season 1. Don't trust me with financial responsibility. I could spend my money on anything else, like food, water, shelter, but come on, Patrick Mahomes is in Fortnite. He's the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. I need to play as him. This is not helping my case. Yeah, I know it's looked down upon to spend money in video games, but I've bought Angry Birds before. Do not question my ways. Also, Blanca from Street Fighter in a suit. Fortnite's microtransactions are essentially letting you buy a bundle of V-Bucks, and with those V-Bucks you can buy skins or other items off the item shop, like the Get Swifty dance from Rick and Morty.
You've reached the bank.
Yeah, hi, can you stop putting loser on my bank statements? Now, Fortnite is free. You can go to your system, download it right now, and start having fun with a capital U. Some developers, however, like putting microtransactions in full-price AAA titles. I'm looking at you, Call of Duty. I'm trying not to, though. You can buy Call of Duty points, which is abbreviated as CP. They could have had their own acronym, but now they have one shared with Cheese Pizza. and Club Penguin. You thought I was gonna say child porn. Damn it, I just said it. I don't play much COD to warrant me knowing anything about COD points. Like, the newest one I have is Advanced Warfare, and that was a whole 5 years prior to them introducing the system. I just still think it's really funny how it's acronymized. Some paid games have loot boxes, which are usually free, found through progression, and some free games have that, but other free games have loot boxes that you have to pay to open. Like, I would hate to be a fan of the game that created the system of buying separate items to open crates that you get at random. I wonder who started it. No! You betrayed me, Valve! Team Fortress 2 is one of my favorite games. It's also the start of a plague. On May 21st, 2009, Valve released the Sniper vs. Spy update for the game, and on the final day of the update, Valve added something new: hats. They made one hat for every class, but then every subsequent update had more hats until eventually Valve released crates in 2010 that randomly drop, with a catch. You needed to buy keys for these crates, and then they added more crates that needed their own keys to unlock, though keys are only like $3 across the board. And then 2 years later, the game went free to play. Overwatch, which is a game that got compared a lot to Team Fortress 2, had loot boxes. I never played Overwatch 1, and it's not like I can anymore because they shut it down. Oh well, didn't miss much. The loot box system was under scrutiny and got into everyone's favorite legal issues. Yeah, governments especially in Europe didn't like loot boxes, especially in games easily accessible to children due to loot boxes essentially being considered gambling. In a way, they are totally gambling. You pay to use these loot boxes without even knowing what's inside. You might get a good item or something completely garbage, which is essentially gambling. Loot boxes are ever so prevalent in mobile games. Nintendo loves loot boxes for some reason. Mario Kart Tour was a game plagued with loot boxes until that system was removed in October of 2022. I personally don't play mobile games with loot boxes. I rarely play mobile games as is, and I don't think it's possible for Picross to have loot boxes. One of the most infamous examples of microtransactions, though, was in the game Star Wars Battlefront 2 in 2017, which is a paid game. During its pre-release stage, one Reddit user acknowledged that while they spent $80 on the deluxe edition, Darth Vader still required a ludicrous amount of credits to unlock, and while credits could be gathered without spending a dime, the amount of time it would take enough credits to unlock a single hero was 40 hours of straight grinding. If you didn't want to grind that hard, pay up, bitch. In a response to this Reddit post, EA said that this system was to give players a sense of pride and accomplishment. People didn't like that, and that comment became the most downvoted comment in all of Reddit's history. Whoops. A big thing against microtransactions is that they could be predatory, used to squeeze as much money out of you, or even worse, children. One kicker is the social aspect of microtransactions. Children might feel peer pressure to own skins in Fortnite, for example, since having no skins or no dime spent on the game is looked down upon within children. Peer pressure is a big issue, and it's one that I'm gonna have to save if I want to rid the world of all microtransactions. Damn, Naric's trying to stop me once again. They told me that I was allegedly trespassing and that I shouldn't be in an elementary school playground at my age, quote-unquote, harassing a group of first graders. Well, I'm just sorry, I'm just trying to save the damn world. What's next? You're gonna tell me that it's illegal to host dog fights? This portion of the episode was sponsored by Jim's Dog Ring. If you want to train your pooch properly, come to Jim's Dog Ring, open 7 days a week.